while, so welcome back. Another hit with me. I'm gonna lead you guys through, we're actually gonna go through a reciprocal program for today again, that we're gonna go through 5 different drills that we're gonna walk through. We're gonna start on the tee, get up to front toss, and then we will, again, we'll just end it with that today. Again, we'll blend up a little bit more next week. So for right now, again, the first drill, all we're gonna do is we're gonna go feet together, step backs. So again, I'm gonna get in this position, feet together, not pinned together, more like shoulder width, okay? I'm gonna get into my stance. Again, as you can see, I'm like loading my hips still. I'm still getting stretched. And then as I swing, I'm gonna step back into that lunge position. As we remember, like from last week, starting from a lunge and swinging from there. This is just a progression of that, okay? And so also, I wanna notate like what is reciprocal, right? If you haven't heard that term before, right? Reciprocal, it's almost like a reciprocal relationship, right? Like equal opposite, right? When I walk, my upper body twists one way and my lower body twists the other way. Like again, opposite arm, opposite leg, just like when I'm walking. And now you're gonna see, like again, as we go through all of these different drills, they're all gonna have some type of reciprocal component to it. And for this one, obviously, again, as I'm swinging, right? As I'm swinging, my back leg is gonna be going behind me as my left arm and all that is extending. We're going opposite directions. My upper body's twisting this way while my lower half is going the opposite way, okay? So get back into it. Right, and I'm still going here, middle of the field, nothing changes, right? Just setting up. Some warm-up swings, right? Not at 100% effort here. It's more important. One of the main things that a lot of guys do with these as well is as they swing, you'll see their foot twist and everything twists this way. And this is when you'll see a lot of guys over rotate. And again, they could have some things in their, again, lower back might hurt because they're hyperextending a little bit. Here, I almost tell guys like if you're walking, right? If you're just walking backwards or just like if you're walking forward, my hips should work both ways, back and forth, right? So again, that could be part of my feel there is making sure that I'm in that position again and just stepping back, okay? Kind of feeling froggy, coach. A couple good ones. A couple things in here. Good, so we're only, again, we're gonna get, that's gonna be good for that there. We're not gonna do a ton of each one of these. Again, it's more about the movement than it is, oh, let me get 50 swings of this, right? I have to do the movement right. It's not the right prescription. If I get medicine and I don't take it the way that it's prescribed, and I don't actually do it the right way, and again, eat it when I'm supposed to have it, and again, I'm not having multiple a day or X, Y, and Z, it's not gonna work for me. Same thing here, right? You're gonna get average results if you again, take it intermittently and don't do it consistently, right? So how I'm moving is the medicine, okay? I have to do it movement-wise. The drill is really important. If I'm spinning and doing all that, or again, as I'm swinging, one big thing that a lot of guys will do is as they go to swing like this, they'll go like this and fall backwards. And I'll show you guys a bad one. So a bad one will look like this, right? And again, you'll see more ground balls, guys cutting off balls, slicing balls when their head is falling away from home plate. When I do it really well, again, I want you to again, keep in mind where my head's staying as I'm swinging. Right, where I'm staying over home plate, right? Where again, I'm not getting a big fall back to my back foot. My right foot is stepping back, but I'm staying over home plate as I do it, okay? So this next drill, it's actually gonna be a step through. So kind of like the opposite, again, reciprocal opponent where as I swing, my front leg's gonna come over home plate. It's gonna look a little bit like this, same thing. Gonna get stretched out as I step. Woo-hoo-hoo. Uh-oh, might be a good day, code. Call the police. Call the police, about to be a massacre of this pitcher, which happens to be you, Cody, but oopsies. Oh, it's those drill workouts I've been doing. Okay, so one of the big things here is, again, making sure the tee is not really out front here. On both of these, when I move reciprocal, I don't need to, and also too, I'm not gonna be able to hit the ball super far out front without, again, reaching through contact. So right now, we're working on how quickly we can get the barrel to turn and get square to contact, and also too, closing the hip shoulder separation gap. It's really important. And again, I talk about that more in our courses. Make sure to check that out. But yes, I want to get the stretch, but when I'm using my rubber band, I'm using my body right. I'm going to close that gap going into contact. I only get stretched so that I can close the gap. It's like a rubber band. I only stretch the rubber band so I can let it go and it can snap, right? So the same exact thing here, we're working on firing those obliques and closing the gap of that hip shoulder separation that I created before I swung. Also here, important thing, we don't need like max stretch as far as I can get stretched, right? Like that's not what we're doing here, right? Again, we're thinking again, as you guys see, like I'm getting stretch and I'm getting some stretch, not getting maximally stretched, okay? Because when you actually get maximum hip shoulder separation is when you actually fire. When you fire and your hips go, you're gonna get that extra stretch. So think about it again, like we're pulling out like 70%. I think Greg Rose has talked about this too. We're pulling out like 70% of my stretch, kind of like before, like setting up here. And then again, I'll get maximum stretch as I go to fire through. So it's just something important to kind of keep in mind, with these, okay? Now, we'll do one more. Again, hit it along with me here. Oh, Cody, it's gonna be a good day, bro. Just move it. Just a reciprocal animal today, bro. Just is what it is. Okay, so we're gonna progress those. Now we're gonna see how good of a day I'm actually having. All right, this is gonna be the tougher stuff. So now, the first one we're gonna start with is a reverse leg kick. So this one's pretty tough. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pick my leg up, and then as I swing, I'm gonna fire it back behind me that way. So it's gonna look more like this. Oh boy, feeling athletic. Ooh, seed missile right there, Code. What you got on me? Dude, reverse leg kick in the game, all right? So, bigger piece here again with this. This one's hard, not easy to do, okay? Again, a lot of guys need to stay here, right? But a progression of that is actually learning how the leg firing back is my power source. How hard I stop, right? That's what we're training. How hard I stop, right, is the power. That's what transfers all the energy into the bat head. That's why, again, like when I hit these balls, like if you get really good at this, like you can hit the ball pretty hard while doing this drill, okay? You just gotta get better at it. And again, it takes a lot of pelvic stability and you're gonna have to train it over time, okay? Like been doing it for about 2 years now, so not bad. And all righty, one more here. Good, and you don't have to hold it up there. Some days I just like flow through it and I'm hitting it right now. Today, the last time I was doing these, my legs were super sore, and when I was firing, I was like falling backwards. Today I'm a lot more stable, legs have recovered a little bit better that way, okay? So the next one, we call these back leg swings, okay? Another reciprocal move, kind of like the step overs, but again, a progression. So what these are gonna be is I'm gonna get on just one leg. The back leg is gonna be, the front leg's gonna be off the ground. I'm gonna be swinging from my back leg. Now as I swing, I'm literally gonna go boom, and I'm gonna try to finish with posture and my leg up, almost like if I was kicking a field goal. Wow, like that, right? Most things a lot of guys wanna do is they wanna lean backwards when they do that. That's also a really easy way to hit yourself in the foot, okay? I don't wanna lean backwards as I do it. Again, I'm not worried about hitting the ball as hard as possible. We're not looking for PRs here, unless you're tracking a PR from the actual drill, which again, we've done that before. But the big thing here is, again, when we go through this drill, is here, and again, slow motion as I hit the ball. I'm gonna finish more like that, try not to fall, okay? This is a pretty hard drill. Same thing here, we don't need to tee super out front, okay? It's gonna be really easy for us to get the bat head out because we're not spinning. Oh, Code! I gave it, like that's the testament on the Tanner tee right there, baby. Okay? Tanner tee tough. Shout out to our boys over at Tanner Tee. You guys just took a hit. Also the brand new tees. Well, shout out to my boys. With the weight at the bottom, this thing's money. Love this thing. You don't have to have an extra weight. The thing's already weighted at the bottom. So those are great there. You can take a hit. not bad. A little down. A little down. All right. Oh, Cody, drifting out there. Not bad there. Good. So again, with these are pretty tough. But again, remember when we're doing anything, it's almost like stability in the cage. When we're mixing this with an actual swing. So it's okay. It's okay that I don't have to be like perfect on a lot of these. It's almost like in the gym, like stability wise, like, okay, this time I held it for 2 seconds and then I fell. Well, the next time let's just try to hold it slightly longer, 2.5 seconds or whatever that is, and try to hold the finish. And again, I'm gonna hit it harder and harder as I go, and I'm able to stabilize the move. I can drive the car faster when I can stabilize it. Okay, again, Ferraris have special brakes, special suspension, right? Because of how much force they create. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Okay, one more here. We'll get in. And again, you don't need to master these today. All good, I didn't master them, I still don't got them mastered, right? We're just doing it over time, right? Practicing, getting into my back hip. But again, here, a big thing we don't want a big knee bend. Slight bend is soft, but I'm more in my hip than anything, right? I'm more in a hinge with that back hip. Foot's off the ground. All right, kicking through, okay? Now, also too, what you don't want to do, and some guys like to do this, is as they swing, they go like this. Right? And they force, you can see the front leg wants to come back this way because as my obliques fire across my body, and again, I talk about this more in our courses and stuff online, but like my lower half wants to fire back the opposite direction because my obliques are what rotating my body. So if we like try to force my leg to get open, we're like trying to focus on my back hip and my back knee, like driving rotation rather than the middle of my body driving rotation. So it's really important here that again, that we focus on the middle part of our body while we're doing these. Not bad, not bad. Okay, good. So we're gonna finish here with, we're gonna do from launch. Today, we're just progress it straight from launch. Now we're gonna go to our launch position, and all we're gonna do is actually, let me grab one of those yoga blocks there too. Give this as some feedback. And if you don't have a yoga block, it doesn't matter, you can use a bat. You could use anything like that, like this. A lot of times what we like to do is we'll take a yoga block just to guide foot, and then I'll put this one on. This is actually Cody Martin invention right here, but I really like this, is blocking in the foot kind of each way. Then I'll move this back just here slightly, right? Give me some feedback on how my foot's moving. A little tighter, right? Where again, if I spin out my back, if I spin my back foot, I'm gonna hit the back one. And also too, if I pop it forward or anything like that for this pitch as well, it's also going to give me feedback. So right now, this move is, again, I want it to look without no ball. It's gonna be like more like that. A lot of guys, I tell them not to drag their foot, but to actually step, right? It's an actual step. Let's move this ball slightly over there. And again, today for most of these, a ball down the middle is okay. We want something consistent in the same spot because we're doing such hard drills. Again, we're gonna progress up to off front toss, but just something kind of to keep in mind there as well, okay? Ooh, no bad, my bees. Okay, and so these can be used like pre-game. Some of these are some pre-game just to wake up those obliques in the middle part of my body so that I'm not, again, if I'm a big guy that I want to push for my legs, I want to lunge, I want to hip shift, I want to do all these other things, right? These are all, when I start working reciprocally, it like turns on my crossbody strength, right? And like helps me utilize the middle of my body as my power source and activates those slings that are running across my body rather than me, again, wanting to jump out of my back leg, wanting to lunge, wanting to create force with my back by yanking, all those things, right? Those can eliminate a lot of our moves just by how we're trying to create force. And this is what this routine is like meant for. Slight fall away from home plate there. Oh, pulled off a little bit, go back. And then as you guys do this more, you'll start to feel what was a back pull, what was a back foot push, if I'm spinning both my feet. I don't really have an issue. I don't typically spin both my feet. That's not a problem for me. I'm more of a pusher back yank guy than I am like a foot spinner. But there is some guys that, again, you'll see where they'll hit both these blocks. Like if they spun their feet, especially when it's tight, you'll see both these blocks kind of fall over. I don't typically have that problem as much anymore. Maybe when I was younger, I maybe would have had that a little bit more, but you might see that with a lot of your hitters now as well, like just depending on how they're creating force. Let's do one more here. Now, sorry, another thing is when I'm setting up from launch here, I have a lot of tension. Like you can see these lines running across my middle of my body, my pelvis here. If I was relaxing, you know, my body as well, you see how there's not as much tension in my legs. When I actually get stretched and go away, you can see my front knee pins away. I feel both my glutes locked into the ground. I'm stretched. I'm stretching everything away from this front knee. I almost think of it like a seat belt, right? If I had like a seat belt, I want to stretch the seat belt this way, right, as it would be locked in, and also the seat belt this way. I'm stretching it in both ways. I'm stretching away from that front knee, where I'm stretching that seat belt, where I'm pulling out the slack in that seat belt. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna progress to front toss. We'll speed it up while we get set up, and then we'll go from there. All right, y'all, so we are gonna go now from front toss. Same progression. First, we're gonna start with just the feet together, a step back. Like we're gonna take about 4 or 5 from here, from front toss. Nothing different. Woo. Warm up. Woo. Seed. Also important there as well, guys. Like in my setup right now, I'm still stretching. Like you can see my knees. Watch my knees. See how they stretch apart as I lean? Now it's not this. It's not just bowing my knees. I'm keeping my front knee away from me while I'm loading my pelvis away from my front side, and I can feel both my butt. I feel super stable, like in the ground right now, like super stable in my lower half before I even fire in the first place, okay? Oh, you ain't getting me, Cody. Not bad. Got a lot of sound effects in my balls I'm hitting today. This happens when I feel froggy. That one I fell away from home plate a little bit. So again, reminder with this one, I don't want it to be like this, right? I want to be like this, okay? Keeping everything over home plate. I tell guys, like if you had a wall, you know, kind of a third of the way through home plate, I know that would come up here, but a lot of times that really helps guys, is I should stay out here. When I don't have pelvic stability, it becomes more like this, and I start yanking off a lot of balls, and the guys will be like, oh, kickbacks, like, how am I supposed to hit a ball down and away when I do a kickback? Well, if you do a kickback down and away, but you stay over home plate, that's actually gonna help you counter, and again, it help you, your hips are gonna tilt, all that's gonna happen so you can cover that ball with good plate coverage. But if you do it, any move done with bad form is not a good move. Some people will send me kickbacks and they'll be like, man, this is watch this kickback. And I'm like, doesn't mean that it's a good move. A lot of times guys are early on their front side and they're flailing, reaching for balls. That doesn't make it a good kickback, even though, again, a lot of times when they do that, it's gonna still help them at least stay through the middle part of the field when they're reaching, rather than, you know, being out here and then like falling this way and their bat's losing direction or spacing too. So, something to keep in mind. Ooh, juice. Got that juju juice today. Okay, so now we're gonna progress. We will go with the step overs with home plate. Oh, that smoked that ball to you over there at shortstop there, Code. Hope that thing get deeper and be smoother. Not bad. Still missed the barrel a little bit. Okay. Good. One thing that's also important is monitoring, like, where am I getting tired, right? Like, where am I getting tired? Is my back getting tired? Is my core feeling tired? Is my legs getting tired? Again, my body doesn't fatigue in certain areas for no reason. Like, I'm using those, that there. And it could be a strength issue, right? It could be, for example, that again, like when I'm getting stretched before I even fire, if I have some pelvic stability issues and I'm really working on being stable on the ground right now and screwing my back foot, like I'm screwing into the ground with my back foot right now, that could make my hips really tired, especially if I'm not used to doing it, right? So be mindful of that. Anytime your back's tired when you're hitting, probably not a good sign. Probably not a good sign. It means that you're probably yanking with your back quite a bit. Not bad. You let it travel a little bit more. One of the things, again, a lot of guys will do that, pull side, is when you get to your normal stance, you're gonna have to hit the ball a little bit more out front, where when you're here, your barrel's turning so soon, it actually changes your timing. And again, you're gonna have to let the ball travel a lot more and get deeper in the zone. More like that. Because even that ball being in, I had to let that ball, I feel like that ball almost had to get to home plate before I could swing. And that's an inside pitch. So usually I'd hit the ball more like out front, out here, but instead I felt like I had to get almost towards home plate. Oh dude, you threw that ball and it literally disappeared. For like a quarter of a second, then I caught it again. Here we are, back to it. Oh, make an adjustment, big dog. Let it travel. Ooh, got me. Bad. One more. Can I have Cody show me up? Oh, sorry, Code. Absolute dub piece right there. So, okay. So got that. Now we're gonna progress to the harder ones. Now we got the reverse leg kick and then back leg swings. Reverse leg kick time. This one might be really hard. Again, don't be afraid to stay at this progression where the feet together and just doing the step backs. And also too, again, it's just harder. You could also do side toss here as an in-between of training. But right now we'll go straight to front toss. Not bad. Watch your lips, Code. Ooh. Also just like something here, like, I mean, obviously Cody's standing in front of me, but it's just something like, I know you guys can hear the crack of the bat and you're like, oh, it looks like the ball's got a little on it. Like it's not a soft hit ball by any means. And again, it takes some time to get there, but also too, don't take it as like, oh, I should just be mishitting all these balls and that's okay. Like in the beginning, yes, we're progressing, but like at one point, like you can really, when you start to understand and really start to move more reciprocally, like it doesn't even make sense of like, you start to understand that I can create force without spinning to create that force. And there's other ways of creating power without a whole bunch of hip rotation. I start to understand why a slap shot looks the way that it does, or in bowlers when they throw, like that they don't get a whole bunch of pelvic rotation. And that's just so super important that you start to understand how to create force in different ways. Ooh. Good, not bad. Okay, so now we're gonna go back leg swings. I've always liked reverse leg kick, and that was always a little bit easier for me. Back leg swings are actually one of the harder ones for me because I have a problem creating more torque with my front side than I do my back side. I create a lot more torque with my back side than I do my front. So a lot of times I'll have problems where I'm like falling over home plate when I'm hitting balls when I'm not doing very well. And again, like pushing from my backside, landing here, hitting balls, and then falling this way. So that's when I'm bad. So this drill is actually one I need to do more, even with the step overs and stuff like that. This is a big drill for me to teach the front side to create more torque. Ooh, yeah. Everybody needs one of those in their life. Bad. The goal here, as you see, is like I'm hitting it, I'm kind of falling. I'm gonna take a little bit off of power here, because when I try to be more powerful, I pull with my back leg a little bit harder, and right now my emphasis is on my front leg. I know I'm on my back leg, but this is more, and if I could have some stability here, this is more about my front leg creating and like stopping rotation with my front side. Much more important here than how much force my back leg is creating. See if I can stick one here, Code. Well done. One more. One more. Need a little extra help anyways. Not bad. Okay, so now we're gonna progress. Go back to these yoga blocks between the feet on the back foot. All right. Same thing from launch. Scoop this guy just slightly back so I have a little bit more room here. Boo-doo. All right. Getting tired here, Cody. Old man. It's a lot of swings for me. Yeah, reciprocal day is always get my core tired. Okay. Oh, my B. Sorry, Cody, I didn't mean to mess up your front toss ERA like that. Oh, there he is. Right, ERA is back right. I guess it's a good thing you have defenders, right? So, yeah, same thing here. Taking this, trying not to touch these blocks, make sure to reset. Sometimes I'm gonna touch some of them. All right, every time going from launch, step back. Also, as you can see too, I'm starting here and I'm finishing here. I'm not even outside the blocks. Some guys will try to do like a very super big move here, right? This isn't a big move. Even some of mine right now are slightly exaggerated. Like I don't even need to go that big. But it's okay. For some guys in the beginning, it being exaggerated is not a big deal. And again, it could be a very useful tool as for coaches to use exaggerations and then bring it back. Go like 2 more here and we'll probably wrap up for the day. That one, you could see I kind of came away from home plate a little bit. In reality, I should be somewhere like right here. Oh, same thing there, Code. Yeah. That's the thing, it'll expose you. It'll expose you on those pitches. And again, there's a process here as you start to learn is like how much I need to kick back on what pitches. And it's okay, again, I know like there's some thought like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to think about it like where the pitch is and how much I need to kick back. No, we're training exaggeration of the movements when they're not gonna have to be so exaggerated and they'll just become more innate and you'll just start reacting over time. It's almost like teaching footwork and fighting, right? Like as a guy moves, we teach you how to position, right? And you have to think about it a lot up front. But over time, you don't need to think about it at all. And almost like think about the same thing too. I was thinking about this with my nephew the other day, is at one point you also had to learn how to play paper, rock, scissors too. And now you can do it without thinking about it, right? At one point you did have to think about it so that you can learn how to do the skill. Ooh, going in on that one, Code. That was pretty nice right there. So again, big thing today. Again, more of a reciprocal type program day. Again, like how we're going about what we're doing. And again, having more reciprocal movements come from both sides of the body, teaching both sides of the body how to create more torque and how we apply that and blending that back into our game swings. With this again, we went up to front toss. You can do all these same drills off of BP, even off the machine. And again, we'll do those at some point here coming forward, where again, I know it sounds a lot of guys just want to get on the machine and just start doing regular swings. You can do drills off the machine. You can do drills in BP. You can do drills even off with pitchers and again, take down some of those things as well. And that's one of the big ways we get things to transfer into the game is to get these movements to actually happen. So until next time, next week, we'll break down another program for you guys, another day of where you guys can hit along with me and go through and kind of apply some of these things and start to build a program for yourself. you know, and really have a process and you know, of how I'm going about hitting on a day in and day out basis. All right, man, we'll see you guys next time.